देश की धड़कन रेडियो PG2 is number 1 in Singatoka.
मैं लंबासा के निवासी, मेरा नाम प्रेम चंद्रा है। देश की धड़कन रेडियो PG2 को मेरा सलाम।
नैनी में देश की धड़कन रेडियो PG2।
रेडियो PG2 में देश की धड़कन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
रेडियो PG2 is number 1 in Singatoka.
नैनी में मेरा धड़कन है रेडियो PG2।
हम ननुपुर के लिए रहता है और हम रेडियो PG2 हरदम सुनता है।
हमें रेडियो PG2 सुनो बहुत अच्छा लगे, आप भी रेडियो PG2 सुनो।
देश की धड़कन रेडियो PG2।
In this bulletin, LTA to interview driver in Raiwanga bus crash last week. PDP says unemployment is a concern. And human trafficking case continues in Suva High Court. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The Land Transport Authority will interview the driver of the bus involved in an accident which injured about 30 people, mostly students, in Asino last week. The driver was discharged from hospital today. LTA Chief Executive Naisatu Nadeva says the progress of the investigation will depend on the outcome of the interview with the driver. Vosita Kotewasawasa reports.
According to the LTA, the Raiwanga Buses Limited bus was issued a defect order for a malfunctioning handbrake on Monday, 2 days before the accident on Kombukawa Road in Tovata.
The driver, in fact, was checked by our inspectors during a roadside check on Monday, on which, yes, a defect order was given to the driver.
According to LTA, the bus should have been grounded for repairs. On Wednesday morning, the bus veered off the road and crashed into a gully, injuring about 30 people. 10 of them had fractured limbs. The accident has again raised questions about whether bus operators are adhering to the Quality Assurance Maintenance Program.
The challenge is on the maintenance of the fitness, the sustaining of the fitness, and this is why the QMS needs to be put in place. The question too that we are asking, why should the authority give the certificate of fitness if the operator or the owner of the vehicle cannot guarantee the authority that they will continue to look after the vehicle.
Tunadeva says 7 buses operated by the same company were impounded last Friday. 2 remain grounded while the rest have been released.
The driver needs to inform the authority on what happened before that incident. We know that there should be some kind of defect, but it does not explode all out of a sudden. It's something that should have been building up for some time. And if we are to talk about a brake failure, as being alluded by some, and we're still trying to determine that in our investigation.
The operators of Raiwanga Bus Limited have refused to comment on both the accident and the grounding of some of their buses. They did, however, meet with the LTA this morning. Police are also investigating the accident. Osita Kotiwaswasa, FBC News.
One of 2 men on trial for human trafficking has testified the 3 victims outlined in the charges had first worked the streets for another man who threatened to kill them. The Suva High Court heard Inoke Raikondroka allegedly arranged clients for the girls because they wanted to get away from the other individual and also earn more money. Ellen Stolz has more.
It's alleged Inoke Raikondroka and Mohammed Shifaz Sangaitu trafficked 2 girls, aged 15 and 17, and a 20-year-old woman between Suva and Nandi in 2012. In court today, Raikondroka denied stealing money from jobs he arranged for the girls, but did confirm taking a commission. Later in the day, the second accused, Sangaitu, testified the first time he saw the girls, they were very dirty and one of them had ringworm clearly visible on her body. He said the 3 sisters had been molested at home and left school to begin a life of prostitution. Sangaitu testified he had worked in prostitution himself from the age of 12 and that there are many other underage children involved. Meanwhile, Raikondroka has been granted bail. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
Government and regional organization representatives from around the Pacific are meeting in Suva to find a common voice on disaster risk management at international forums. Mikalonga reports there are high hopes this can be achieved in the week-long meeting.
The Pacific is the first region in the world to work towards integrating climate change and risk management, something Fiji has been strongly advocating.
We hope that, again, the region will be united. The region will make a strong voice on these issues.
Trying to send out a powerful message, particularly to other developing nations. If we're facing similar issues, we have resource constraints, etc. Let's try to bring together our efforts in some shape or form, make it easier for us to be able to deal with these major development issues like climate change and disaster.
This high-level meeting will, in the next 3 days, explore opportunities to integrate their climate change adaptation and disaster risk management and reach common ground on reducing vulnerability and increased resilience against natural phenomena. The outcomes will be tabled at the Third World Conference on Disaster Reduction in Sendai, Japan, in March 2015.
The next meeting in Japan is very important because we are going to review the Hyogo framework that has been guiding us for the last 10 years. So we hope to make sure that all the voices of the Pacific nations are reflected in the review process.
First-hand experiences of countries in the region will also be shared in this forum amid efforts towards a collective voice. This regional disaster meeting has one simple message, that every community in the Pacific are to be ready for any shortcoming.
From my experience at Christchurch, be prepared and also keep it simple.
13 of the 14 Pacific Island countries represented here have agreed to integrate their climate change and disaster efforts. The meeting was opened by Minister for Agriculture and Fisheries, Colonel Inia Seriratu. Mikalonga, FBC News.
The People's Democratic Party has called on the National Employment Centre to be investigated, claiming it has failed in its duty. Party leader Felix Anthony says the high number of unemployment is a serious situation for the country and has called on the Minister for Labour to take responsibility. Minister for Labour Chone Osumate refutes these claims, saying unemployment has declined due to 5 years of economic boom. Christopher Chand reports.
Unemployment has sparked a political debate, with the PDP claiming that thousands of people are without jobs, adding to the growing poverty.
And I call on the Minister for Labour to take responsibility for this situation and address it rather than making excuses to say that the numbers are much lower and that people are being employed. There is employment opportunities. I don't think the minister is living in the real world when he talks about employment opportunities in this country.
Minister for Labour Chone Osumate says the National Employment Centre, or NEC, does not create jobs but works with companies to find employment. Osumate says the PDP does not have proof about their claims on the high unemployment rate.
I think the minister would do justice if he acknowledged how huge the problem was and how big the challenge it is for this government.
Late last week, Osumate clarified that 33,000 people had registered with NEC and not 83,000 as being reported. He says many of the people who register are employed.
Whether it's 33,000 or 83,000, the numbers are still excessive and is unacceptable. Now, I think it must be understood that these are people who have registered, who have chosen to register, who have chosen to work on $50 a week, at least as an attaché.
Anthony says unemployment rates can be improved once there is political stability. The PDP will highlight the issue of unemployment and how they hope to address it when it launches its manifesto on July 5th. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Coming up, ending rheumatic heart disease in Fiji.
Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nen.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
hear about water cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sadi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The Rotary Club of Suva, in partnership with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, this morning launched a national awareness campaign on rheumatic heart disease, or RHD. The disease is responsible for more than 60 deaths a year in Fiji. Apisalomedoka was at the launch.
Rheumatic heart disease is a commonly acquired heart disease in children in Fiji, a chronic condition where the heart has been damaged by rheumatic fever. With the theme, "A sore throat can kill you," the Health Ministry is calling on parents and guardians to monitor their children's health at all times.
Individuals per 1,000 can be exposed to sore throats, and that can give rise to rheumatic heart disease. We know that a lot of our children run around with sore throat and they aren't treated. And they're not treated, they end up having their heart valves damaged.
The Rotary Club of Suva says their first target is schools around Fiji.
We have a three-pronged approach. Firstly, through school students. Hopefully, every school student throughout Fiji will have a lesson on RHD prevention. All the information and materials have been sent to all the schools in Fiji.
And out there with the thousands of kids that we have, students who may be not aware of the many things that could be and how damaging these are. So this is certainly an exercise that's going to bring about much better outcomes, no doubt about it.
Ilatia Usa suffers from rheumatic heart disease and advises taking our children for health checks is the only solution.
This is a serious thing, sore throat. It is a serious thing. So if you have students or if you have a child who has this sore throat, please do take him immediately to the hospital, because this sore throat leads to another sickness that you never know, it might or might not kill or can lose life.
The week-long campaign will cover schools, hospitals, villages, and end with a Westpac health walk on RHD on Saturday. Apisalomedoka, FBC News.
The National Fire Authority has attended to 2 house fire incidents in the last 24 hours. A flat at a housing authority barracks along Sangali Street in Andera, Nasinu, was destroyed by fire last night. Firefighters, though, managed to contain the fire from spreading to 4 other flats in the same barrack. In another incident, a property in the Vui level housing was damaged. The corrugated iron and timber lean-to house was fully engulfed with flames when firefighters arrived at the scene. NFA Chief Executive John O'Connor has reminded members of the public about the importance of maintaining fire safety at all times. Business excellence evaluators have a big role to play when it comes to rewarding an organization's achievements. This was stressed to more than 16 countries from Asia and the Pacific attending a week-long workshop on business excellence for assessors. Akusita Tale reports.
With many organizations adopting business excellence framework which promotes best practices and excellence, evaluators have been reminded to be more skilled.
Should be competent enough to apply the current criteria of business excellence framework to score applications independently, provide feedbacks that add value to the applicants, and most importantly, to identify opportunities for growth and development of competencies.
The assessors from around 16 countries were also reminded that the framework is not a competition. It's a reward for organizations who are doing exceptionally well in their business.
You will need to possess the technical expertise, good interpersonal skills, commitment to professional performances, and of course, a team with the skills and abilities to conduct the assessment with. You will be out to assess and evaluate the habits and practices that have resulted in outstanding performance.
The workshop is aimed at training these assessors to strengthen the framework among organizations in order to excel in their business. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
The Fiji Court of Appeal has dismissed an appeal by former lawyer Muhammad Azim Uddin Sahu Khan against the Independent Legal Service Commission. In July last year, Sahu Khan was publicly reprimanded, fined $20,000 and suspended from practicing until March 2015 for professional misconduct. Sahu Khan had misrepresented his qualifications, claiming he was a UK barrister and a member of the Lincoln's Inn. The Court of Appeal ruled that Sahu Khan has 28 days to pay $3,000 to the Chief Registrar's office. The Foundation for the Education of Needy Children in Fiji has assisted more than 970 students so far this year. FENS Fiji National Coordinator Choape Kunikoro says many were assisted with school supplies, while others received assistance for tutorials. Kunikoro says with the introduction of the government education scheme, the foundation will increase the total number of beneficiaries and also set up more community learning centers. Since its inception, the Foundation for the Education of Needy Children has offered more than 4,888 scholarships. That time again, and Jamie joins you now with another week of sports.
Good evening. Coming up, baby flying Fijians lose opening match in Junior World Championship and Fiji Under-20 team follow its roots back to the old capital. Details after the break.
Gonga elambasa Bull FM number 2 na serie.
Ando talita kana borong ng Bull FM number 2 na serie su.
Au wait tu garaki au revati ni stima au ando talita kana borong ng bula.
Bola bina Fiji Bull FM number 2 singa toka.
Bola bina era roga Bull FM number 2 tikoga.
Bull FM number 2 na serie.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. First up tonight, hard luck for the baby flying Fijians in their Junior World Championship opener against Wales in Pukekohe, New Zealand today. Fiji may have lost 46-17 to the Junior Dragons, but it was not a game that should be judged by the scoreline. The young brigade managed 3 superb tries to show some promise in the tournament.
Close to the Wales line, and Fiji looking to get their first points of the afternoon. This will be a try, and coming up with the ball is Sere Roba Lebu. Oh man, now a wide ball trying to work their way to the outside of this Wales defensive line. Good powerful run. Now the fullback to Ithakau. Got a ball inside, beautiful. Tabua Levy is in for Fiji's second, and why not score it under the bar? Good tap. Buries the head, can't quite get across the line. Fiji looking to have the final say here at Ecolite Stadium in their first outing. And they twist and turn, and the try is scored. Pani Onatonga comes up with the ball for Fiji.
Earlier today, Australia thumped Argentina 36-17.
And now Alalatoa has a go. He's close. And I think the big man so far in the game have been at short range. Australia looking to go wide using their back division, and the try scored by Andrew Callaway. And they've landed 3 so far. Here's an opportunity. Here's McIntyre across to Lacey, and they do pick up their 4th try.
Just the physicality from the lads straight off the start. The Argentinians come out hard, and we just muscled up with them as well.
At 7:35 this evening, New Zealand plays Samoa. That match will be live on FBCTV, while Fiji's next match is against France on Friday. And still with rugby union, the Italians have arrived, settled, and are ready to take on the Flying Fijians at the ANZ Stadium in Suva on Saturday. But there are a few challenges ahead of this clash that the visitors have yet to get used to. Elaine McDonald caught up with Italy's Fiji-born rep, who's waited long enough to showcase his plays this weekend.
Yet to show their hand on Saturday, the Azzurri are first finding their footing on Pacific soil.
We know that it will be a match very tough for us. Also in the last November in Italy, Fiji teams is play very well. We won just for 5 points, and so we know that it will be very difficult. Also because the weather. It's not our weather, it is warm, it's humid, so I think it is very hard game on Saturday.
With a fair number of new players ready to make their debut, Italy is sure to stick to their usual forward play tactics to counter Fiji's attack.
All the players of Fiji have great athletic capacity that we know we can't give it much space to her because they are very dangerous. They have the space to run.
For this young man, though, he'll be playing his first match for Italy in Fiji, and it's a thought that's brought about mixed feelings.
It's been a long time coming. I've been looking forward to this tour for the last 10 to 11 years since I left Fiji to go and play in Italy. So yeah, I'm really excited. Hopefully I get to run on the pitch on Saturday, and hopefully to have a good game for the boys and for the fans as well. And yeah, I'm really looking forward. It's strange but awesome feeling.
4 days remain ahead of the clash, and by the looks of both outfits, it's going to be a cracker of a match. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
Another first for the Fiji under-19 football team. The side will be taking the game back to where it all started for Fiji. After a success at the OFC playoff, the team is planning a tour to the old capital. Elena McDonald has more.
The journey to the Under-20 World Cup begins now. But first, it's time for the Vodafone Fiji Under-19 side to return to family and friends. Fiji Football Association is planning celebrations. This time, it will have more historic value.
Start with the Levuka, where the birth of Fiji football is coming, the soccer in this country, and we want to make sure that we revive in Levuka, the capital, and this is something that we will be doing all the districts possible.
For midfielder Garish Prasad, the win over the weekend is another step towards his dream of becoming a professional footballer.
I was supposed to start uni this year, but I've dedicated my time towards this because under-20 won't come again, so this is my only chance and my only shot that I can give it.
While the players rest, the administrators push on with planning the road to the World Cup in New Zealand next year.
Players will be going and participating for their district games in the leagues and in the Vodafone Fiji Fact. And then after that, during that time, we will discuss and decide what to do, when are we calling. But of course, yes, we will be calling them at intervals and checking the fitness level and technically just to see how they are.
Next up, a hunt for some overseas friendlies.
Need now to play outside of Fiji. They need expertise, challenges. It's not so much about results, but building the team for the World Cup where bigger names will come. And it's going to be the big arena.
Spirits are high for the boys right now, and they'll need it for what's coming. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
That was your Monday night sports. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Total Fiji Limited has opened a solar system at its Wunderpoint terminal. The company says the idea came from staff to reduce energy consumption. The 67 kilowatt system is capable of generating over 100 megawatts per year, supplying over 95% of the Wunderpoint terminal's power requirement. The grid will allow for any excess power to be transferred to the Fiji Electricity Authority's grid. The new system will be launched on Wednesday. The Reserve Bank of Fiji says performances across key sectors varied last month but remain positive. In its latest review, the RBF says the tourism industry continues to expand. Consumption and investment activity remain strong, and the buoyant demand in the economy is well reflected in the labour market. At the end of May, our foreign reserves are at around $1.69 billion. Fijian weather is certainly here as temperatures dip to the low 20s today. Keep those warm clothes and blankets handy as this cool weather is likely to continue over the rest of the week. It was partly cloudy over most of the country with some showers in Savo and Suva today. Temperatures range from 27 in Suva to 33 degrees in Ba today. The lowest of 21 degrees was recorded in the Western Division. Expect temperatures to lower even further to 18 degrees in the West. Expect pretty much the same weather in all the centres tomorrow except Savu and Suva, which may get some showers in the afternoon. If you're going out to sea, expect moderate to rough seas and poor visibility in areas of heavy showers. More showers are expected, especially over the eastern and interior parts of the larger islands. Recapping the top stories. LTA to interview driver of the bus that crashed in Asinu last week, injuring 30 people. People's Democratic Party claims the National Employment Centre has failed in its duties, and human trafficking case continues in Suva High Court. Results from last week's poll question, we had asked, can the Fiji under-20 soccer team create history by qualifying for the World Cup? A whopping 87% said yes, and as we all know now, the boys did come through. This week we're asking, do you feel safe travelling in public service vehicles? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's Monday Night News from the team and me till tomorrow at the same time. Good evening.